Doctor, thank you so much for your time. This was really expected, wasn't it? It's happened all over the world. When restrictions are lifted, cases rise. How concerned should we be about what's happening in China?
It's very concerning, Adnan, very much so. And I am very surprised China has got this wrong. At the beginning of the pandemic, China did really well with its test, trace, contain policy. Very well, very efficient. And then it has had a long time, a very, very long time, in which China could have come out of this pandemic with exceptionally good outcome, which is to immunize its population with good quality vaccines. And it has failed to both immunize extensively and B, use better quality vaccines.
The reluctance to use foreign vaccinations may be something particular to China, but you've just mentioned the domestically produced ones. Is there any scientific evidence that they're not as effective as some of the Western manufactured products?
Oh, absolutely, Adnan. The killed virus vaccines which China is using is about 50% effective. In other words, when you are immunizing 100 people, 50 people will be properly protected. Whereas the BioNTech vaccine, the Pfizer vaccine, the AstraZeneca Oxford vaccine used in West are about 75–80% effective. And also, we've been, as you know, giving boosters to boost the immunity further to the primary course, which again, China has not been doing a lot of.
And in terms of possible new strains that could be far more dangerous than the current most dominant one, Omicron, what are the sort of modeling analyses that show if 1 million people were to die in China, which is one of the models, were to die in China in 2023, that would mean how many X more millions would be infected but not dying from COVID-19. But in terms of variants coming out of what's happening in China, is that another great concern?
Yes, indeed. So let's distill this one by one. China is still using the vaccines that they developed when the original strain was in circulation. Their vaccines have not been modified to cover for Omicron and its new variants. Second point, wherever you have lots and lots of infections, which is going to happen in China, and unfortunately, it will also happen in India, by the way. India is also in a similar position where it hasn't immunized its population extensively. So now we have two major populations, China and India, and you are generating lots of infections. And when you generate lots of infections, mutations happen. And when mutations happen, one of those mutations could be highly pathogenic, highly infectious, or some variation. It could be. It may be the other way, true. But these are ideal ingredients of us losing control over COVID because we've allowed it to have runaway infections in a large population place like India and China.
Dr. Bharat Palkania, thank you so much for your time, as always, and happy holidays to you.